part two in this three-part or maybe four-part series about the taking down of the statues. There are numerous statues. I'm trying to remember, I read somewhere recently it numbered in the hundreds of statues to different Confederate quote-unquote war heroes, generals, prominent figures scattered throughout the South, and there are some even in the North. The reality of that is, folks, nowhere else in the world do we erect statues to the people that lose. Cambodia does not have statues to Pol Pot. Germany does not have monuments of Hitler. There are no statues commemorating Stalin and his accomplishments. Truthfully, if you look at every one of those historical figures and many others, not everything they did was bad and evil. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy or nothing like that. No. Absolutely evil, should not be celebrated. But the reality is, every person, no matter how bad they are, no matter what horrible contributions to society they're responsible for, there's still some good in there somewhere with everyone. And in the same token, everyone that's good and we consider having a positive impact on society, or we consider to be heroes, have all done something negative or bad too. There's no one throughout the lens of today that we could look at from the past that would pass the tests of what we consider to be good now. And I kind of don't really make sense there, but what I mean is, if you look at 2021 standards, what we think of as a normal society and how people should behave and react and take care of things, no one from the past fits that mold, because society was dramatically different then. Society evolves. That's what we want. So I'm not denigrating Lee, but I'm saying, should we have statues for him? There's a place for these things. Germany, like I said, doesn't have statues commemorating Hitler, but what they do have is they still have Auschwitz. I have not been there personally. I know people that have. It is a living history museum. It's there to remind people of the horrors of what there once was. We have those here in Virginia. We have them in multiple states throughout the country. We have them in Pennsylvania. The Newmarket Battlefield and Museum is still there. It's just right up the road from me in Newmarket, Virginia. We have historical markers and Appomattox where the Civil War ended. We have the battlefield at Gettysburg still to this day, where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address and where one of the bloodiest battles of the entire Civil War was fought. Those are the things that we should be preserving, and those are the things that we should have. No one's saying, let's erase history, let's go ahead and build some condos and townhouses over there in Newmarket on the historic battlefield. No, what we're saying is, or I shouldn't say what we're saying, what they are saying is, we should not have memorials and statues celebrating and commemorating these people in public spaces like public parks. Most of these statues were erected between 1920, or actually I think 1918, and the mid-60s. So between 60 and 100 years after the Civil War ended. Why? Why were they not put up in the 1870s? Why were they not put up in the 1880s? Why did they wait until the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s to put them up? Well, what was going on in our country at that point in time? Think about that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize, well, you had people that were still seeking to keep another group of people as a second-class citizen or as a lower-class person. And those were the people that were erecting these statues and monuments, not the government. The Robert E. Lee statue in Charlottesville that's recently been taken down, and the one that we're talking about in Richmond, were paid for by private citizens, not by the state government. Stay tuned for part 3.